Hi, welcome to Sketchbook School, the show. Each week we take one question about art, drawing, illustrated journaling, the creative life, and we ask an expert to help us answer it. Well, this week we're going to talk about one of the greatest of all stories to include in our illustrated journaling, the natural world. All those plants and critters and season and all that beauty. Now, if you don't have time to go out on safari or to take up some long hike in the wilderness, how do you commune with nature? And how can you begin to understand all of its complexities and all those species and varieties? Well, we're going to ask this question to Richard Bell. He's an illustrator in Yorkshire in the north of England, and he's an ardent sketchbooker, and he's published loads and loads of books about the studies of the natural world. Most of them were made right in his backyard. I mean, you live in a small town in Yorkshire. It's not, you don't live on a nature preserve. You don't live in the middle of an African jungle. It's not an especially exotic place. It's like a corner of the world that is familiar to most people. And yet you've managed to document nature on a regular basis just by looking in your garden. And I wonder if you could just tell us a bit about what your garden is like, what you see there, and how it's managed to keep you as interested as it has for as long as it has.
One of the most successful sketchbooks I did was this one, which I did let me get in that. I did last year. It's just trying to find something in the winter takes a bit more effort than finding it at other times of year. You know, there's not lots of flowers out, but there's fungus, there's birds doing things. So that's I think that's one of the sketchbook I've been most pleased with in recent times, and it's because it was a challenge. I need to focus. This is the great thing about drawing, and having those hawthorn hedges around this one little patch of garden. It's about I expect it's getting on for the size of a tennis court, something like that. And that's like drawing. Having a patch of ground is a way of focusing in on a microcosm, and it's kind of like a fractal. Is that the more you go into it, the more there is to see. I've been out this morning just taking a few photographs, and there was honey fungus growing from the wood chip path. There's these lichens and mosses. You know, there's things that even now, after 30 years of studying the garden, I still haven't quite identified them. And there's always more incidents happening. It's like a soap, really, and it goes on like a soap opera. It goes on from month to month, year to year. And the drama this week, the small drama, has been a missel thrush, a large thrush that's been flying in and feasting on this huge crop of golden hornet crab apples we've got, and it fights off all the other birds. I love field guides and the way all the birds are facing the same way, but in real life they're all individual characters. And they don't necessarily behave as they should do in the field guides. So I like the drama and the humour of what goes on in my backyard.
I think it's, I mean, what I love so much about what you do is you show how much drama there is, how much interest there is everywhere around you. And so I take from your example, inspiration to record. I mean, I don't have a garden. I live in the middle of a big city, but I still have that sense of there are stories to be found. There are things, things to look into, and it's just a matter of slowing down, being observant. And also, I think one of the great things about what you do is it's over time. So you have season after season that you've been observing, so you can see the change from year to year, and that also gives you a perspective on time and on your own life, probably, in that way too.
I got myself a map of Europe a few years ago, and had this aim to go and visit the mountains, the forests, the wetlands, the coasts of Europe. I made a slight start on it, but I think the main part of my work will always be my home patch. Everybody's got to have a home patch. You've got to have somewhere that's home, and that you. Uh, when I look out the window, I've got those memories of what it was like and how the landscape has changed from when there were collieries here, coal mines in the area, and now they've gone, and these grey coal heaps have become wonderful country parks.
And how do you draw it? Are you drawing? Are you looking out the window and drawing immediately what you're seeing? Are you studying and then recording? How do you capture this drama in drawings?
Yeah, typically it would be from my memory because I've rarely got the leisure. It's usually when I've put the kettle on for a cup of tea and I've got time to look out, or Barbara spots something and we go to the window and watch it. I found since digital cameras improved that having one of these super zoom lenses is good, and you can go in with this 30 times zoom lens and photograph things like the missel thrush on the apple tree, and then. I draw them later I'm able to put them up on the iMac and draw them in high definition and see details which, to tell you the truth, with my eyes I can't see from the house, and I find it very difficult to draw with binoculars and then going back to the drawing. So I think I've got over the thing of thinking it's cheating to draw from a photograph. It's all extra information that you can get. It's taking me into that world. Even if I haven't got time to draw, if it's a freezing cold day, I'll take a photograph and draw from it later. And it's not cheating.
Richard Bell's been keeping a fantastic illustrated blog for more than a decade, and he's published many, many beautiful and inspiring books. You can find out more at his website.